If this doesn't help, I don't know what to do. I hope it helped. We are alive. I hope you are, at least. I thought I am. Well, I'm glad it looks better. Woohoo! Well, I'm very sorry that you missed most of the cooking, because our video was shitty, because now we're basically done with cooking, and now all you'll have to watch is just me eating. I will just say that I've discovered that the best marker of getting old these days is how well I can technology. And I will just say that in this last year, I've discovered that I cannot technology at all. Everything is anti-intuitive now. I have to ask friends how to use Hinge. Hinge is so confusing, y'all. There are so many questions and options and features. I just don't even know what to do with it. So I'm old now. I will acknowledge it. It makes me very sad, but I'm old, unfortunately. I don't know how to use our world anymore. And I will have to accept it. I'm done cooking. I'm very sorry. Everything is in the Instant Pot, and there's nothing more for me to do. So I'm just gonna be here eating my slop. Fred's not interested in my slop. It's been a while since I've done one of these. To get rid of gamey flavors, I recommend the method of soaking your meat, cut or whole, overnight and draining the liquid. It'll help you get rid of any excess juiciness, in terms of like that hemoglobin kind of red blood looking thing. And it'll also rinse out the flavor a little bit. If you want to start with a milder tasting beef, you gotta not try to coat over it with more flavors. It'll just add to the chaos. You gotta try to take away some of the flavor first. You accidental date. How does that happen? I wore these socks, which Aaron's dad gave me a long time ago, because the Bills were playing today, and I believe they won handily. So go Bills! Aaron was very happy. Grindr is for gay men, I think, as far as I know. But I've also been told that there are drug dealers on there. So if you ever need to find a drug dealer in a pinch, Grindr could be your place to go. Come closer. Let me see you. What shall we talk about? So yes, I'm old. I don't know how to use technology anymore. And every year I get a little bit more used to the idea that I am not young anymore. And I have to practice being okay with that. Because just like with taxes and many other necessities in life, nobody actually tells you how to make peace with aging, because of all our industries are focused on anti-aging. So I need to teach myself how to age and be okay with it. Favorite part about Hinge is seeing what questions people choose to put on their profiles, because Hinge has so many questions you can choose from, like unnecessarily, just too much. There's too much option in terms of what you can put on your profile, but because of that option, it matters as much as what you put in response to the prompts, as well as what prompts you choose to begin with. Because there are so many questions you can answer, it already tells me a lot about someone, just looking at the questions they choose. If anybody chooses questions having to deal with traveling, and all they do is to use that prompt to brag about where they last went to and what they did on that trip, pretty much an automatic no for me. Where you've gone traveling, 95% of the time tells me nothing about you besides the fact that you have the means to travel. So not attractive for me to see that. Well, sounds like under communication happened with you, KCS, but I hope you enjoyed the accidental date. Yes, so when you kill an animal, the more stress it experiences, the tougher the meat and the worse it tastes, because Karen is very correct in that you, in stressing the animal out at the time of death, are left with a lot of stress hormones, I guess. I'm not a scientist, in the bloodstream, and so it changes the flavor of the meat. But again, I still think hunting an animal that's not farmed is a better way to consume meat than to just buy an already butchered animal from the supermarket, because then you are just feeding into the complex of supporting big brands like Tyson and Purdue, and they have a lot of fucking issues stemming from animal abuse and human exploitation and environmental like chaos and damage and just overall bad. So I try not to eat as much meat, but sometimes my body does yearn for it, and you know, if I have friends who happen to hunt and they have more meat than they can use, then I happily take it. Otherwise, for my personal consumption, if I eat out at a restaurant, I'll order meat. I don't really eat out that often, and if I ever want to cook meat, then I will just splurge 3-4 times the price and buy it from the farmer's market, because at least it's a small scale farmer. And they don't really engage in that kind of large scale systematic abuse. So So aging the meat in the fridge, I don't know if it affects the taste. I haven't done it that many times, but it's basically kind of like dry aging. I think it allows the meat to kind of absorb the seasoning that you put on it a little bit better. It dries out the meat, which, depending on how you cook it, like, I'm not really searing it. I'm just stewing it, essentially, in the Instant Pot, so I don't really know if that makes a difference at all. Oh yeah, he's very old school, that's for sure. Oh guys! Damn it, none of you told me I forgot to put the tofu in. Now I'm very sad. I want a tofu in there. Alright, going back into the freezer. You failed. It's okay, I don't blame you. But I do. Y'all are supposed to help me and you didn't. It's fine, I forgive you. That's what friends do. Y'all were too busy complaining to me about audio and video issues. And now I'm sad. And I'm not blaming you. Yeah, none of you noticed it. I'll remember this. I hold on to the stupidest grudges and I will remember this.
It's true, she does.
Mm-hmm. You can still do it if it hasn't sealed yet. Can I? Can I? It hasn't sealed yet. Nah, it's okay. It's okay. Let me not fuck with it. Ness says hi, Aaron.
Hello, Desmond.
Another beer?
Yes.
Alright. What do we want to talk about today? Since you're just going to watch me eat for the next hour. I don't think that is going to be ready by the time we end this live, so this is all you're going to get. If you want to tap out now. This is as exciting as it gets. Right, Freddie? Oh, you want some beer? Aaron, come back with the beer.
Did you talk about your opinion on current events?
Aaron, come back with the beer. Freddie's interested.
No, he's fine. You give him one. People want your opinions on current events.
Current event? I don't even know current events. He's going for the beer, Aaron. He's coming for you.
Okay, you can do that. Is Trump still president? That would be exciting. That would be interesting to talk about.
What tattoos do I have? I have 3 tattoos on my torso. One is fresh from yesterday. I'm not ready to share them yet. But if you pay very close attention to my Instagram, you have already seen at least one of them. Wow, Ram. What am I? Fucking lentil mush? Fred is the actual star? Alright. I wanted to add tofu at the beginning so it can soak up the mole flavor. But it's okay. I'll save the tofu for another mole. Freddie, should I eat the other split pea soup? Has he gotten a treat, Aaron?
I've fed him a lot today.
Yeah, you look like it, Fred. Yeah, chunkster. If you hate needles, you know, it's not actually piercing you the way a shot or a blood test would. You don't have to look down at it. But if you hate needles, you hate needles. I will also say that the last tattoo that I just got yesterday is a hand-poked one. And I really liked how quiet it was, because when you get a machine tattoo, there is that kind of like buzzing sound that almost worsens the experience for me, because that sound is just kind of irritating and aggravating, and it makes me feel like it's more violent than a hand-poked one. So you might want to start out with a hand-poked one. They do look different. You don't get as bold of a line usually with hand-poked ones, but it also depends on the artist. So Grandma loves her outside time. It brings her so much joy. You know what? Maybe we will cook something after I eat my split pea soup, because I just discovered that I don't have congee for Grandma tomorrow. So I think I'm gonna make her some sweet potato starch noodles, maybe with some ground pork, or yeah, I have some ground pork. Is there any chance you guys would want to read through some dating profiles with me? I won't show you the people, obviously. We'll keep it like anonymous, but I feel like it would be really fun to read through some profiles. There are some gems. Do I have any favorite restaurants in Queens? Girl, what kind of question is that?
Please.
You need to tell me what cuisine you're into, though, before I can start giving you my list. I can't just sit here and give you my entire list. It's too long. You're gonna put your judgy head on. Okay. Southeast Asian food. What kind of cuisines does that include? Like Thai and Malaysian? For Thai, there's a lot of good stuff in Woodside. There's a lot of options. I like a place called Khao Kong. This is in Elmhurst. What is a common Asian bread? I would say a common Asian bread is like roti, mantou, I don't know, probably goes by other names. Fred, you can't eat all the time, buddy. Here, you can smell it. But let me just show you why you can't eat all the time. This is why you can't eat all the time. Okay? Okay? You can't eat all the time, buddy. You can't eat all the time. I can eat all the time because I'm a human and I'm already fucked, but I don't want to fuck you up. Oops.
You're welcome.
You don't like my food, see? You judge my food. You don't like it, you little noogie lover. I think Fred can be pet all day and he wouldn't mind. What is the best cooking application for black vinegar? I don't know, really. I'm actually a big fan of black vinegar in dumpling dipping sauces, but not in much else. I actually don't love the flavor of black vinegar. And I am coming around to Mom using balsamic and everything. I think balsamic vinegar is really good. Rice vinegar might tie for first for me. So I keep seeing guys who are my age on Hinge, and I look at their photos and I was like, you gotta be lying, like you're not 34. And then I'm like looking myself in the mirror and I'm like, you're 33 and that's how old you are. So if you think they're lying, you're lying too. And there's this moment where I'm like, fuck, that's how old I am. I'm old. I mean, yeah. Alpha Brenna, that is a really good description for my profile, actually. All right. Let us see what we got in the carousel. You want to look at some guys, Fred? We might also get some envies. Freddie. Here. Oh my gosh, Jordan has a cat. Do you like his cat? Wow, okay, that's a no. Jordan has a cat. Cat looks adorable. He geeks out on Craigslist. Okay, he's cute. He's got a beard. He's got a photo of himself taking a selfie. Very meta. Cool. One thing I'd love to know about you is your social security number. Great. Together we could split rent. He's a very practical man. Got another cat. He knows I like cats, I think. This could be us. And the photo of this could be us is just him on a lawn chair with a beer. Am I the beer or the chair? There we go. We sent it.
Yeah.
Alright, let's check my inbox. Dimitri sent me a like on my photo with no message. I think if you like a profile element, you could really go the extra step and just give me a line about why you like that profile element. So, pro tip to anybody who's on dating apps, like, maybe just go the extra mile. Dimitri says, I'm a 10, but you're def a 20. Thank you. Let me teach you how to laugh and have a good time. Okay. Can we talk about anything you want? That's a no. You're boring. Sorry. Goodbye. So Chris liked my poll, and my poll is, which do we have in common? Non-judgmental depression, VHEMT, you can Google that if you want, and always hangry are my 3. And he liked the non-judgmental depression and commented, finally fashionable. Is it finally fashionable to be non-judgmentally depressed? I don't know. He says the secret to getting to know me is asking invasive questions, which I excel at. So that's a potential. Okay. He does have some very bro-y looking photos, unfortunately. He says, I'm looking for someone to go see Greta Van Fleet with me, and I have no idea who that is. So I'm not sure about that. A life goal of mine is to buy and renovate a home in Europe. Okay. And he has a very cute photo of a very cute dog. Unfortunately, even though he did say the secret to getting to know me is by asking invasive questions, he's not really speaking to me. Pass, indeed. All right, well, that's all I have in my inbox. Contrary to belief, I am not that popular. Unfortunately, I think I have passed the golden. Oh, who's Greta? Oh, it's a band. Okay. I think I'm just too old, and dating apps don't really favor women above, I would say, 30. But nonetheless, we shall persevere and have fun. Alpha Brenna, I can see an Instagram account with all your captions. His dog is a 10, but he's a bro. Yep. What is the Hunter's Moon? Because I did check out the moon today and I was like, whoa, that looks really nice. Will you date 10 plus years younger than you? No. I have trouble even looking at people who have liked elements on my profile who are like 26 or 27 or even 28. I feel weird going more than 5 years in either direction, and I think my sweet spot is within 3 in either direction. So I don't really feel like I'm comfortable going below 30 right now. Victor says, this year I really want to get a dog, get another tattoo. Okay. He's agnostic, looking for a long-term relationship but open to short. He has a photo pointing to 2 cows, and he's in a suit holding a plastic cup of beer, I'm guessing. He goes crazy for live music and always down for a show or a dance party, which is a no for me, unfortunately. He really wants to go to Lebanon or Morocco, same. And he looks like he bikes. Not feeling it. There's nothing really speaking to me, unfortunately. He seems like a good, nice person, but not for me. Gustavo, would I like to know about you? Best 90s sitcom, Seinfeld or Friends? There is a wrong answer. Seinfeld, right? It has to be Seinfeld. Like, Friends is not a good sitcom. It's a fun sitcom, but it's not a good sitcom. I don't know if I would quote anything from Friends besides the lyrics to Smelly Cat. But there are a lot of Seinfeld references worth quoting.
But, I think you were waiting so much, I told them to put it back.
Why do all of these guys sound like Aaron's profile?
Yes, that's
Have you looked at Aaron's profile?
Yeah,
How you doing is good, actually. You called me out on that. Joey was my favorite character, can you tell? Oh, God, Joey. When I was in the 4th grade, I actually had a crush on Joey. That explains a lot.
what?
Um,
Yeah. It was,
he went to U Chicago, which I wanted to go to U Chicago, but Mom wouldn't let me go to U Chicago because Mom was racist, and she said I would get shot if I went to Chicago. She didn't also let me apply to Stanford or any of the California schools because she said I would die in an earthquake. I think she was just coming up with reasons for why I couldn't move more than 3 hours drive away from her. My ideal fake sick day is to get lost somewhere. I get along best with people who are nerds, but like pretty cool nerds. Okay.
Are you making fun of people on Hinge to hundreds of people too?
Yes, I'm not making fun of them. I'm just reading through profiles and swiping live.
Are you showing their faces and names?
No, I'm saying their names, but I'm not showing their faces.
Okay.
I would never do that. Or would I? No, let's not go there. It's a no for Gustavo. I'm sorry. This year I really want to have good fun. Give me travel tips for New York and around.
I love the Asians.
My self-care routine is going to the park.
Yeah, exactly. How often does that work? So you find
Next.
a lot of success.
Alex, a social cause I care about. Eat the rich, use their money to decolonize the global south and clean up the environment. Very nice, but we've all heard it before, Alex. He's cute though. First round is on me if you can guess what my t-shirt says in my last pick. Okay. I geek out on D&D all the way. Pretty geeky. I don't know what his shirt says. Not for me. Not for me. Not for me. Ooh.
I'm not very serious with
This one has audio. I don't want to play it because it might reveal identity. I'm gonna plug in headphones to keep this mildly entertaining without completely disrespecting strangers who I do not know. Okay, this is Dylan.
Yeah.
He's an art teacher at elementary school. But he is 27, so. He plays guitar. It's very nice, chill cafe music guitar. A little bit sad, a little bit sweet, a little bit bossa nova-esque. It's nice. He's got chops. Something I want to try with you is going on road trips to camp, hike, climb. Not really an outdoors person, but I'm willing to give anything a try. Except heroin. Not willing to give that a try. Hello, Suzuku. Nice to see you. The way to win me over is to bring me fresh produce from your garden. Aw, I wish I could do that, but I live in New York. Green flags I look for. Open and honest communication. We motivate each other to have new experiences. Okay, cool. I mean, he seems fine. I will say, this round, I haven't been on a dating app since January of 2020. But this round, I am trying to, like, match with more Asian men because I feel like in the past, I've been leaning towards white people a lot. And the older I get, the more I realize that mom is kind of right in that there's just a lot of cultural differences that result in misunderstandings that feel like the inability of communication to resolve problems, but it's actually just because your foundation is so different from the other person that you can't actually empathize fully because of the differences in culture. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Sherry, that's so judgy. He's a poor teacher, artist, musician. That is enough red flags for you. What if he just really likes to teach and he actually comes from a wealthy background? Who knows? Who knows? But he is, unfortunately, he is 27, so that's kind of like on my very lower tier of age. Do you think it's wrong to judge people when you're dating them by age? Like, is age just a number? Sound out. Tell me what you think. This is not Bumble. This is Hinge, which I've never tried before. So I'm chatting with someone that I matched with, and he asked me what my dating experience is like, and I've told him the number of people, because we already talked about my asexuality spectrum thing. I basically told him how many people I've cuddled with, kissed, and had sex with, and how long my last relationship was. And he actually responded with a very comprehensive list of like the same, which I am surprised by because I feel like most people, one, don't remember it this precisely, and two, aren't very upfront with sharing these numbers. So that's impressive.
Five special readings.
He's probably lying. Okay, you guys really don't trust the internet. Okay. Make sure he is not mirroring me. What does mirroring me in this case mean? That's very interesting that you didn't choose Asian male because you didn't want to deal with Asian mother-in-law. Fascinating! I never even thought about the in-laws. Huh.
Yeah, think about who you're going to get married to, June.
Yeah.
Remember, if you have kids with somebody, you're going to have to be with their parents, too.
I'm not gonna have kids though.
Decide who the grandparents of your kids are going to be.
What?
You gotta decide, because they'll be their grandparents, you know.
I'm not having kids.
Come on, June.
But that's another thing. Like, if I go on dates with Asian men, I feel like Asian mothers always want their kids to have kids. So, like, that's also going to be another issue. I feel like Asian moms tend to want their children to have kids way more than, like, I think every mom wants their kids to have kids for the most part, just because they feel like it's natural, but, like, Asian moms particularly. Noreen, I don't necessarily want to date Chinese men, but I'm open to it. Whereas before, I think I just automatically gravitated more towards white men. I thought it was an unconscious choice, but then when I realized my own patterns in matching with people, I was like, I wonder why I keep doing this, and maybe this is something that I should bring up with my therapist just to get an idea of why that is. I mean, I have some ideas of why that is. I think being with a white partner kind of approximates more of an assimilation into this American culture, and I think by proximity to a white man, it makes me feel more white, and not to say like it's a racial thing, but more of like a cultural belonging and cultural status symbol in a way, because I think as an immigrant, I never felt like I quite belonged. So I feel like a part of the psychology behind my dating preferences has to do with the desire to want to belong, and I feel like that is probably a large part of why I gravitated towards white men more. What do you guys think? I think if mom were still here and I told her that I'm dating a black person, she would flip because she is racist. There's definitely like a racial hierarchy for a lot of Asian people when it comes to dating. And I feel like if it's not Asian, then it has to be white, because like all other options are just a no-go for my Asian mom. But I have gone on dates with black dudes before mom died too. I don't think I told her about it. Because I'm sure she would be like, you what? Mom would probably not have accepted Latino men either. But it probably she might have taken it better than a black boyfriend. So Black men seem to love dating Asian women. Don't come for me. Do you have scientific statistics for that? So I will say this, like, I get a lot of DMs from people who say, I'm not a cat person, but I love Fred. And I feel like a lot of people have this idea of who cats are, and I've known from the last 3 years that, like, cats have personalities too. Like Nez's cat, Bear, is a very different personality than any other cat I've ever met. And I feel like it's the same thing with people. Like, the reason why discrimination and racism exists is that we continue to uphold all these stereotypes of, if you're Asian, you're this. If you're Black, you're this. If you're Latino, you're that. Whatever it is. And I think to some extent, there are portions of truth in those stereotypes, but they cannot be applied equally in the same doses to everyone who belongs in that category of generalization. That's when you start to get racist and discriminatory and stereotyping people. And I just feel like because Mom never had any real interactions with Black people, Latino people, like, she was also, like, pretty anti-Muslim, I feel like, because, you know, the media has this Islamic phobic kind of depiction. It's just, our world is so fucked up, and we take everything that's fed to us as truths, and then we become scared of the entire world because we're told these people are bad, and we inadvertently become upholders of injustice and racism. And we think it's the truth because it's what we've been schooled on. But the people who schooled us on these things had an agenda that we don't know about. Hidden agendas that were not ever revealed to us. And until you actually develop relationships and interact with people from different groups, you will never actually know them as people. You will only see them as stereotypes. People who say, I don't like cats, probably have never spent time with a cat or had a very bad experience with one cat. But just because one cat was a bitch to you doesn't mean all cats are bitches. You've seen Fred. He's bitten me like twice. And it's because I probably did something to upset him. Most of the time, he's a fucking angel. And a lot of cats are angels. You just have to know how to interact with them. Like, you have to learn their language too. They're not the only ones who need to be nice to you. Like, you need to be nice to them in the way they want you to be nice to them. So I am trying to be more open-minded. Like, I was raised by racist parents in a racist world. So a large part of my conditioning and my schooling has been racist. And so I have racist beliefs still in my head, even though I am quote-unquote liberal. And those kind of biases don't really go away just because you're like, I'm a good person, I'm not racist. They go away through practice, like everything else. So it's a work in progress. Tom liked my video, and he says, I want someone who is able to read. He's 28. What?
You don't read.
Okay. He's 28. He's looking for a short-term relationship, and he's in an open relationship at the moment. Okay. Me and my best friend is a picture of him with a goat. Cute. Teach me something about Arabic. I'm trying to learn. Please help me practice. Can't help him with that, but that's kind of sexy. I would love to learn Arabic too. The shower thought I recently had. The phrase, do you know what I mean? Can be shortened two ways. Na mean And you know? He's very cute, but I don't think I think I have a spidey sense about these things. Like, I think we would get along, but I don't think it would work beyond 1 or 2 dates. So, sorry. Aaron and I don't look at profiles together, but that would be fun. I don't think he's into it, though. Okay, so this guy says he's 37, but he actually looks 27, so fascinating. You should not go out with me if you're not going to fly me out to Paris on our first date. Okay. Diana says open relationship and short term, probably looking us for a side piece. Maybe. You don't know. People have different reasons for being in open relationships. I was in one. So. Somebody replied to my chat. Definitely always hangry lately. Love your cat. I would say that my number one tip for people who chat others in dating apps is to always end with a question so that you give them something to respond to. Otherwise, the conversation just kind of dies. I would say that that was a pretty weak first reply. But on this person's profile, he says, a life goal of mine is build and participate in self-sustaining communities with a communist sickle sign. Okay. I actually don't know if he has he, him pronouns because it doesn't show on the profile, so I will just use they, I guess. Together we could work to organize peoples and unravel capitalism. I go crazy for Muay Thai, rock climbing, art, learning new things. Tell me about your hobbies. And he has a photo of a cute cat. Kitty. He's a dusty. What does that mean? He has no money. I mean, that's fine. Are you guys bored by this? Should we cook for Grandma? Why are we judging people for not having money? Maybe they opted out of capitalism. Alright, let me just use this cheap IKEA pot. We're gonna brown some pork. Hell yeah! Alright, I'm gonna turn you off. You're gonna naturally decompress. Meanwhile, I don't think Grandma likes Thanksgiving food, unfortunately. She would hate stuffing because she would say it looks like leftovers. She also hates Western bread. She always makes me give her Chinese style bread. I don't know what the difference is, Grandma, but that's what she makes me do. So I really doubt she's gonna like stuffing. She doesn't like dessert, so no pies. The facility she lives in actually has pie quite frequently, but they've stopped giving her dessert because she never eats it. This is split pea soup. I'm eating my split pea soup. I've definitely eaten a whole jar of peanut butter before. into soaked almonds. Aaron started this trend of soaking almonds the way Gwyneth Paltrow does. And he used to put it in his yogurt, but you can slip the skin right off once they're soaked. You have like basically blanched almonds. And it's really nice and like fresh tasting. The soup base was ground pork and tamari and some samjang with white pepper and a little bit of granulated garlic. Grandma likes things fairly simple, so I don't try to put too much experimental shit. But I would really like to finish up that samjang. It's very old. And I like to cook this, and I'm gonna cut up the noodles once they're cooked with scissors so that it's easier for her to chew and swallow because her teeth aren't that sharp anymore. And usually I put it in the fridge and then I portion it out on the day of, warm it up in the microwave because starch noodles do get a little bit funky when they get refrigerated, kind of like how rice turns weirdly chalky and powdery when you fridge it. So it's always nice to go ahead and warm it up for her before I actually take it to her. Yeah, these are sweet potato noodles. They're like a Korean standard. Love them. I love Korean noodles the most, I think. Controversial opinion maybe, but Korean noodles fucking rock my socks. I didn't ever look at that footage of when Fred turned on the stove, but I believe you guys. I mean, I feel like you wouldn't be dumb enough to lie to me on footage I can check back at, but maybe you have ulterior motives. I don't know. Oh, cool. Yes, let's repent. If someone gave me a package of soba noodles, I would make like soybean miso soup noodle probably. And I would probably make some stir fry noodles with them. I feel like that would be good. Probably delicious.
Dude, that smells good.
Yeah, you want to taste test it for me later? I think I want to make soy milk on a live. Would you guys like to see me try to do that? Let's make soy milk sometime this week. Remind me that I promised you soy milk. Yay, I'm so glad you make chili oil all the time. That's a great thing to make at home. Hi, Freddie dear. Oat milk is much easier to make. Much, much easier to make than soy milk. Are you purring? You like pork? You like pork, Freddie? He's purring. Yeah, you want pork? You want pork? Are you okay, Fred? Are you having asthma? You sound a little wheezy. You doing good? Just heavy purring? Purring for the beef? Or pork, rather? Wow, those were loud purrs. Haven't heard him purr this loud.
What?
Aaron, can I give you a little bowl?
Sure.
Taste test for me. Is that a pimple on my lip? Fuck, it is. I hate those pimples. I think I need a little MSG. Aaron, these noodles are still kind of al dente, but I think you might like them. And also, I'm sorry for the chopsticks. I picked 2 non-mashed ones.
It's okay.
Just a taster.
Yeah. Thank you. So this is venison like.
No. This is pork.
Oh,
This is pork noodle soup for Lala.
nice.
Yeah. I need to cook this a little longer because the noodles are very al dente. And I feel like Grandma's gonna have trouble eating them. But I will just go ahead and chop them up. Can we talk about what narcissists actually look like? Like, everybody has narcissistic tendencies, but what does a narcissist actually look like? Yes, venison can be gamey. If you soak it, it's less gamey. Depends on what you cook it with, but for sure it's gamier. Oh, always a victim. That's a toughie. How do narcissists talk? Oat milk made at home never tastes like the oat milk that you buy in stores because the oat milk that you buy in stores is processed with a lot of added oils and fats to make them taste smooth and creamy. The oat milks that you make at home will likely not have that same mouthfeel or consistency, but it's literally just 1 part oats to 3 parts water, depending on how thick or loose you like it. You can adjust the water levels. It's just oats and water. And then you obviously have to strain it with a fine mesh strainer. One part oat, 3 parts water, 4 parts water. You can do 4 parts water too. And then the most important part is you shouldn't overblend it because when you overblend it, it heats up in the blender and the blender will start cooking the oats, which means you end up with this mucousy liquid. When I use the Vitamix on high, I don't blend for over 15 seconds. That's it. If you use a Vitamix and you're blending on high power, once you pass 20 seconds, once you go into 30 seconds, you will start to get very slimy tasting oat milk. If you use a lower powered blender, you have to see. I don't know how your blender works. All I can say is blend, strain, taste, and if you have to turn it back and blend with more oats in it to get a stronger flavor, you do that, but if you overblend, you will end up with slime. Yeah. Narcissists. I have seen these things, and definitely not in my personal life, thank God. I don't know, can narcissists be cured? I'd be interested to know. Adding in some Chinese pickled veggies for salt, flavor, crunch, texture. Grandma likes to think she doesn't like salt, but she likes salt. There must be degrees to narcissism too, but I think to be clinically diagnosed, you probably have to pass a certain threshold.
The soup is, the noodles are great. I can tell you add less salt than you normally would, but still tastes good.
Yeah, I'm adding more pickled veggies now for her, for a little bit of salt. I do feel like it is under seasoned, and even though Grandma says she doesn't like salt, she likes salt. I think the problem with therapy is that you have to be open to the treatment process. And if you are suffering from narcissism, I feel like it can be extremely hard to even begin to acknowledge that you need treatment. And so it's kind of like giving antibiotics to a person who doesn't respond to antibiotics. It just doesn't work on them. There's only so much you can do. It's a blanket statement? Probably. Aren't all statements kind of blanket?
All statements are blanket statements is a blanket statement.
I know. I think that's good. Heat off. I keep wanting to add something spicy to it, but I don't think Grandma will appreciate, unfortunately. That's scary that narcissists can even charm the therapist. That's terrifying. So yeah, definitely walk away. Protect yourself. Yeah, I mean, basically all the liquid cooked into the noodles, we've evaporated most of it, so it's just like a starchy, glossy sauce now coating the noodles. This is my favorite way to cook noodles, especially sweet potato starch noodles. You can overcook, but you really can't overcook them the way you can overcook like a wheat pasta or a wheat noodle. So I really appreciate them because you can just have them absorb all the liquid. And it turns nicely glossy with carboliciousness. My favorite dish that my grandma used to make, probably like her white pepper, citron pepper, scallion pancakes. Guys, I think my, sorry, my cell phone's down to 17%. I am done cooking. I'm just gonna let that cool off. In the meantime, you can look at Freddy and me. Maybe I'll swipe a few more. But other than that, what genres of music do I listen to? A lot of genres, but I tend towards R&B, pop, kind of funk blues. I'm chatting the commie, the person who wanted community and liberation from capitalism. We're talking about Muay Thai and how he got started on Muay Thai. Yeba, yes. I don't know if Smith is the last name. I don't know if it's the same artist, but if it's Yeba, I listen. Okay. I said to a person who wrote in their profile that they don't want shoes in the house, I said, a new friend walks into your house with shoes on. What goes through your head as you figure out how to tell them that's fucking disgusting? And he said, good question, probably in this order. This new friend became a past friend. Prepare to ask them who the fuck raised them to be this gross. Realize that's not the correct approach to communicate such things. Dwell in anxiety. Realize my house getting dirtier will just increase any anxiety, and so I ask nicely to take their shoes off and provide slippers because I'm a good fucking host. Continue to dwell in slight anxiety, but continues with the day as if nothing happened. Do we like that answer? Do we think that was a good response? I thought that was a pretty good response. He mirrored my language by using a curse word and proceeded to tell me in depth an actual cascade of thoughts. Guess what, folks? He's Asian! Hi, Freddie. No photos, guys. We're going to be respectful of people who did not expect to be outed on the internet through a live stream. But you do have a lovely Fred, though, to look at. Count your blessings, my humans. Freddy is better than any human picture. Look at him. Look at him. Ugh. Why would I even need to go on Hinge when I have you, Freddie? Probably because you rejected my marriage proposal, but that's okay. You're still stuck with me anyway. Boop boop. Freddie loves his boops. At least you tolerate them very well, Fred. If you could move to any NYC neighborhood, where would you move? I mean, Grandma's here, so I don't really think about things like that, but I would be willing to move. I would love to move to Astoria. It's closer to Manhattan. It has a very nice microcosm of food, shops, bars, parks, and you can walk to Randall's Island through a bridge. And it's not too far from Jackson Heights. So Astoria is pretty nice. I'm also open to moving to like maybe Greenpoint. I've always liked Greenpoint, but a lot of apartment buildings in Greenpoint are kind of old and aged, and the newer ones are like really desolate feeling, and I don't like those. I do like Greenpoint as a neighborhood. I just don't know if it's very livable apartment wise. I used to have a fascination with Carroll Gardens, but I truly think it is way too bougie for me. Like, the general clientele is way more moneyed and has no problem spending that lifestyle. So I don't think I would belong at all there. If I could move to like a Manhattan neighborhood, I tend to not want to move to Manhattan, but I've always kind of had a soft spot for the Upper West Side, honestly. I find that it is moneyed, but it is like politically conservative, liberal wise. It's more liberal, but more of like a Democrat liberal and not like a socialist liberal. But it has a Trader Joe's. And it has some very interesting shops and foods. It is very expensive, but I just like the general vibes in the Upper West Side. Soho is too expensive. Nobody lives in Soho, except implants, I think. Inwood is nice, but it is very remote. I think it is way too north for me and way too far from Queens. I might consider moving to California, but I also don't drive, so I would need to live with someone who wants to be my chauffeur all the time. East Village is nice, however, the H Mart is so fucking expensive and tiny there, it's not worth it for me. The best H Marts are in Flushing. I don't think I would move to Flushing though. I haven't been to Astoria's seafood. I'm not a big seafood person, and it tends to be more expensive, I think, to eat seafood. So. Cost of living, pretty bad everywhere in New York City. Basically, when you move to an area and the rent is higher than other parts of the city, the living costs that follow that area will also be more expensive. So not only is your rent going to be more expensive in Manhattan, your groceries are going to be more expensive in Manhattan. Everything will be more expensive in Manhattan. You gotta think about that. We are at 11% battery. Get your questions in now, folks. We are gonna go offline soon. Freddie, what advice do you have for people? He's giving me such a dirty look, like I haven't fed him in ages. Right? You hate me for not feeding you snacks? There is no dollar pizza anymore. I think everything has climbed with inflation. When do you think we'll get the soy milk stream? When, Freddie? When will we get the soy milk stream? yes. It might be a daytime stream. It might be like Wednesday or Thursday, maybe daytime. Whoops. My computer slipping. We will have to soak the soybeans beforehand though, so. So I believe the process for making soy milk is you wash the beans, you pick through the beans, you throw out the bad ones, you soak the good ones until they're completely hydrated. You blend it with water in the blender, and then you strain out the solids and you cook the milk. You can't really drink the raw soy milk. You gotta cook it. Oh, you know what? I didn't take vitamins. Let's take vitamins. Let's take vitamins. Do 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 do. Boo 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 boo. Dee 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 dee. Look at Fred being scratched. He loves being scratched. You love being scratched. Kitty loves to get nuggied. I'm basically like a human massage machine for him. Freddy. Freddy. Alright, Fred, let's take some vitamins. Vitamin D and vitamin C, okay? Vitamin D will keep you awake if you take it at night? How come nobody's told me this until now? Good night, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Sunday. Have a great week ahead. Maybe I'll see you before the weekend. Doop. I don't know how to make soy chorizo. I wish I could show you this, but it's not ready yet. Do you want to try, hold on, before you wash it, you want to try this new salty version?
Sure.
Can you take your chopsticks away? That way I can put it.
Soaked up all the soup.
Mm-hmm. Because Grandma's teeth aren't that good, so I can't give her, like, truly al dente noodles.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, better for sure.
Yeah? Great. Yo, I don't think I can afford to eat out anymore. I went to lunch and dinner with 2 friends. Didn't really even eat to the point of like feeling extremely full at all. And I ended up spending like $60 that day. And all I could think about was, oh my God, Prices are painful right now. Everything. Mmm. So good. This is so good. Amazing. Amazing. Say goodnight, Freddie.